I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch Bison's ass so hard that the next Bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home, and who wants to go with me?
Hello and welcome to Big Dumb Movie, where we discuss movies of the big dumb variety. I'm your host Korey, and I'm here with my two lovely co-hosts, Josh.
What's up?
And my longtime friend of over 20 years, Jonathan.
How you guys doing?
Good, man. It's good to see you in the flesh. Today is the first time I've seen Jonathan in a very long time. Jonathan and I grew up together, watching movies, talking shit about movies. We even made up some raps back in the day.
A lot of good times.
As we all do.
I mean, that's what you do in the 90s. You make up raps, and they all start with "My name is."
Heavily influenced by "My Name Is" content.
So we're here to talk about Street Fighter, but we can't do that without talking about the star of Street Fighter himself, Jean-Claude Van Damme. So before we go into the movie itself, I wanted to ask you guys, we'll start with you, Josh. What are your favorite Van Damme movies or movie, if you just want to go with one? It's completely up to you.
So, I grew up more of a Schwarzenegger guy. So Jean-Claude was not always my go-to, but I always, when I did watch him, I would go to Street Fighter or Sudden Death.
Sudden Death, I don't know about that one.
That's the one where Powers Booth holds an entire hockey rink hostage. Oh, it's a solid flick.
I like it already, but is that the one where he's doing the splits between two semi-trucks? Because I don't know what that one is.
Oh, I thought that was a commercial.
Oh, was that?
Yeah, that's a recent commercial that he did for Volvo.
I love the Volvo commercial. That's my favorite Van Damme.
That was his best, highest quality production right there.
It's his best performance in years.
I mean, that's really not saying much. But Jonathan, what about you? What are some of your favorite Van Damme movies, or you can just go with one?
Yeah, I'm only going to have to go with one. I don't have any other ones to select besides Bloodsport. It's the only Van Damme movie that I like.
It's the only one.
Kumite.
It's the only one
Kumite.
that exists.
Yep. I mean, you got to watch him beat Chun-Li's ass. That's it.
Chong-Li or Chun-Li?
Chong-Li. Wasn't much of a differentiation in that name.
So
I mean, but who has a bigger chest? Chun-Li in this movie or Chong-Li in Bloodsport?
Oh, Chong-Li in Bloodsport by far. Totally.
He's got those double Ds, man. He's got that chest pump.
He's got it for sure.
So-
He's put a lot of bench press in.
is it just me, or do other people also get Bloodsport and Kickboxer mixed up?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny you say that because there is another movie that Van Damme did that's even more similar to Bloodsport than Kickboxer, and it's called The Quest. It's essentially the same movie that he made about 10 to 12 years later, where he's representing America and he's fighting in this big tournament, and there's a big bad that he has to beat at the... I mean, it's the same shit, except for I think The Quest is a little bit underrated because it has... I think the martial arts in it's a little bit better. The choreography, anyway. You guys ever see The Quest?
I never saw it.
I haven't, no.
What about Double Team?
Oh, of course. Of course.
Now, Josh, educate us about Double Team. What's that one?
Oh my god, that is the greatest team-up combo of Jean-Claude and one Dennis Rodman.
The best thing
that-
about Double Team is the giant basketball at the end. Don't they like drop out of an airplane in a giant basketball or something?
Oh boy, do they! And then they survive an explosion behind a Coke machine.
Oh my god, I completely forgot about that.
Oh yeah, that was a solid film. What's the one he does with Arnold Vosloo as the villain, and he's got the mullet?
Don't know it.
Oh,
No idea.
Oh, it's got Wilfred Brimley in it. That's a solid one as well.
I didn't know there were any other Jean-Claude Van Damme movies worth watching.
I mean, worth watching is like a debatable thing.
Yeah, I was about to say
It's all relative.
from a certain point of view.
Jonathan, you grew up in the same area as me at the same time as me. We're very close to the same age. What was your experience with the Street Fighter movie? I mean, like, did you see it in theaters as a kid? What was your first exposure? Or to the franchise in general? I mean, Street Fighter was a big deal in the 90s. And where are you at on it?
Street Fighter was huge for me. I spent a lot of time at the Boys and Girls Club, and they used to have the Street Fighter 2 arcade. And I mean, I would rob quarters out of my dad's change caddy just to play this game every day. I didn't even see the movie until I was probably a grown adult. But the game was what was definitely more influential for me.
Which really like begs the question, like, what's the greater level of disappointment? Like seeing it like I did at a kid in theaters, or like seeing it as an adult? Because, I mean, this movie's not great. Let's be honest. We gotta put that out there right now.
It's not winning any Oscars.
Maybe a few Razzies. But Josh, what's your experience with Street Fighter?
So I was exposed to Street Fighter around the time I was exposed to Mortal Kombat.
Exposed to.
Yeah.
You make it sound like a guy in a trench coat like ran up to you and like opened it up and he just had Street Fighter VHSs like duct taped to his body.
Here, kid, look at this.
You want to buy some anime? Yeah, no. I didn't play it too much in the arcade. I played it a lot on the Super Nintendo.
Not as good.
Yeah, which is just as good.
No.
But yeah, very quickly after I was exposed to Street Fighter, the Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter movie came out. So I grew up with the two mediums, within a short amount of time.
Okay, so yeah, you mentioned the Mortal Kombat movie. In the 90s, we got our first video game movie ever with Super Mario Brothers the movie. Not too long after, we got this movie, and then not too long after that, we got Mortal Kombat. I think Mortal Kombat learned some of the lessons from this movie because I think it is overall a little bit better. But one thing that's kind of noteworthy, and I think this is fairly common knowledge, but Jean-Claude Van Damme turned down the role of Johnny Cage in the Mortal Kombat movie so he could play Guile in this one because he wanted to be a leading man. I mean, this is peak Van Damme.
Yeah.
I think he should have taken that role for sure. He would have been a good Johnny Cage. I would have rather seen him as Johnny Cage than Guile, that's for sure.
I mean, Johnny Cage supposedly was loosely based on Van Damme, the character in the game, like the movie star that is supposedly a good martial artist, but has been called a fraud by some sources. So there is that. Now, I did read somewhere later that the developers at Mortal Kombat denied that relation, but I mean, who knows?
Of course they would.
Josh, you have some experience with Mortal Kombat, don't you?
Oh, do I? Yeah. So, first of all, can you imagine Jean-Claude saying some of those lines that Lyndon Ashby said in Mortal Kombat?
I could smell her perfume. Like, you mean his, like, stupid one-liners?
Yes, like, I can smell her perfume. I had not good impressions.
No. Spot on.
Silk underwears. That's my Jean-Claude. So,
I surrender. French.
I just want to go home.
Wait, is he French?
No, he's Belgian.
Belgium.
Okay.
The muscles
Okay.
from Brussels.
He's muscles from Brussels.
Okay.
He and Arnold are buddies.
I'm deleting that out of the podcast. Anyway, go on, Josh.
Where was I? Oh yeah, feel free to cut this out.
So, apparently during the production of this movie, like I said, it was peak Jean-Claude Van Damme, and he was doing coke. A lot of coke. And now look, this is what I read online. Who knows if it's true? I imagine it's probably very close to this, but apparently during production, it was at the point of his addiction where he was doing $10,000 of coke a week. And apparently it was very difficult to work with on this movie. Like, he didn't want to come out of his hotel and or trailer to come do scenes. They had to hire a handler for him, and he was having an affair with Cammy, the woman that played Cammy. Her name's
Kylie
Kylie
Minogue?
Minogue.
Kylie Minogue?
Yeah, Kylie Minogue.
Minot. There it is.
Oh no, man! I
A
didn't
recording
know that.
artist. She had a couple good songs.
Did she?
On the top Billboard charts. Yeah.
I don't know about her. Do tell. What did she do?
I'd have to look it up, but there's definitely a couple top Billboard.
She did that "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time" song.
Yeah, that's what
her, right?
that's what she's known for.
Maybe.
Yeah, so he was doing a lot of coke. He apparently was a pain in the ass to work with on this movie. I mean, that's exactly the way I envision 90s Jean-Claude Van Damme, just like a really full of himself, like, I'm the best action star in the world kind of thing. But to me, he was always like a B-level action star. He wasn't never like Arnold or Sylvester Stallone to me. Maybe to other people, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
I liked him as an actor for the movies that I did watch, which was basically, Bloodsport. Frank Dukes, put up your dukes.
He got a lot of cred from that movie, right?
Yeah, that was probably his breakout, I would say. Because after that, you've got Double Team, you've got Time Cop, you've got Street Fighter, a bunch of movies like that. But,
Sidekicks.
I think that was his breakout. Yeah, Sidekicks.
No, that's Chuck Norris.
Oh, which is the one where he's the villain in?
He was the villain in a movie called Expendables 2
Oh,
or 3.
Yeah, but that's pretty recent, though.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's a villain in one of those like terrible like kid karate films.
Huh, I don't know that one.
Yeah,
But you guys are familiar with Raul Julia, I'm sure, who is M. Bison in this movie.
Yeah.
theatrically a thespian, Raul Julia, chameleon.
I mean, he certainly acts like it, right? He's very Shakespearean as Bison.
Well, he went all out for this role. He watched footage of dictators and studied their hand movements. He went full Leslie Nielsen in Surf Ninjas.
I mean, do you think it was really that much of a difference from how he carried himself and the way he spoke from when he played Gomez Adams?
Well, he's a true romantic in this movie, as we find later on.
Oh yeah.
So there's the connection. Now, I'm just gonna say this right off the top as well. I do really like Raul Julia in this movie. I think he's like one of the saving graces of this movie.
I agree.
As ridiculous as he is, he's like very entertaining to watch, and you can tell he was having a good time. And all reports that I've read, which is one, say that on set he was also a very nice guy, and like he brought his family, and he actually did this movie for his family.
Yeah.
Like his kids.
Yes.
Really like Street Fighter.
Yeah.
You know about this, Josh.
Yeah, he
This was his last movie ever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Yeah.
he picked this movie specifically for his kids. Which I don't know if you guys know this. This is a little thing I read. Normally, when they shoot a film, they shoot the action sequences first, I believe, and then they go back later and do all the dialogue shit. But because of Raul's health, they had to shoot that completely different and wait till he was, well enough to look good on camera, because he was reportedly not looking good.
Yeah, he had stomach cancer, which it's very sad because, Raul Julia was like, I mean, he's a legend in his own right, and I have very fond memories of him myself as a kid, mostly from Addams Family. I didn't see a lot of his earlier stuff, but I did see that Mystery Science Theater episode where he's on Overdrawn at the Memory Bank, which is kind of a classic. Maybe a movie equally as bad as this one, but actually, you know what? Maybe equally funny too.
I've not seen that one.
Now, Josh, what do you know about Stephen E. D'Souza?
Oh, writer of, did he write? I know he directed Die Hard. Did he also write it?
He wrote the scripts for Die Hard, Commando, and The Running Man.
And the
Running Man,
Flintstones.
one of your childhood classics, Running Man, right, Jonathan?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think I borrowed that from the parents' collection of VHS tapes. It's one of those rated R movies you weren't supposed to watch when you were a kid, and stole it and watched it anyways.
Yes, absolutely.
Mine was RoboCop.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
Oh, man.
But yeah, Stephen E. D'Souza, he wrote and directed this movie. And apparently, in writing this, he had about like 24 hours to come up with a script idea so that it could be pitched to the studio in a timely manner. So it was written very quickly.
Yeah, so Capcom came to Hollywood with the intentions of greenlighting a Street Fighter film, but a lot of the studios just didn't know what to do with the source material because it's pretty Japanese and it's pretty muddled, and there wasn't much to work with. So they.
I mean, yeah, it's a game where it's a fighting game. I could only imagine that. Like, think of a story for this thing. It's like two people are fighting.
Well, it worked for Mortal Kombat. I mean, I feel like you could have just literally done like Enter the Dragon with Street Fighter characters, and you got a movie. We'll get into the plot, but just they take so many weird and odd choices.
They do, and you're right. Let's get into the plot now, I think. It's a good time. It starts off in a very unusual manner, this movie. There's a civil war in Shadowloo. A made-up place, right? Am I...
Shadowloo...
I've never been.
So, like... Alright, let me say this right off the bat. Like, everything about this movie, and like, in terms of lore to the game, is wrong. Shadowloo is not a fictional city. Shadowloo is a company in the game. And, everything is wrong about this movie.
Oh, I didn't even know that it had any game relevance at all. I thought it was completely made up.
Yeah, no.
But what we learn about Shadowloo is that General Bison here, General Gomez Adams, he has a bunch of hostages, and he's like demanding ransom money to the UN, I guess. And he has the hostages, but at the same time, he's just kind of like killing them. Like, he's just like snapping their necks for fun, it seems like. I mean...
Didn't he ask for 20 billion?
Yeah, yes.
Kind of a lot for 1994, wasn't it?
Maybe he just wanted 24 billion Bison bucks, because...
I imagine the scene from the second Austin Powers movie where a bunch of like White House officials start laughing. They're like, Mr. Bison, it's 1994! That kind of money doesn't exist!
We also get to meet our true American hero, played by a Belgian man.
That was really upsetting to me, the fact that, like, in the game, Guile is this all-American military hero, and with this, like, epic blonde hair all slicked up and back, and then you get Jean-Claude Van Damme. You know, this guy with a horrible accent, speaking English here. He's got hair that's almost orange because it's bleached to get blonde.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah.
You're right, the character design doesn't quite match up, does it? I mean, they really took the fact that the Guile character in the games has camo pants and they just ran with it. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
Guile is like a military man as interpreted by some weird Japanese guy. So he's over the top American, where he has like an American flag tattoo on his arm.
As you do.
As we
so
all do.
American that he doesn't even have an American accent.
I mean, we all got our American flag tattoo somewhere.
Well, I mean, you're in Alabama, so I imagine that you have a different kind of flag tattooed, but let's move on.
It's the real American flag.
That's
so yeah,
true
Bison's whole thing is, look, give me 20 billion bucks, or I'm gonna be snapping more necks over here, right? And that's where he is. And Guile is on the other side of it. Guile is like, I'm gonna lead my military strike force who has costumes borrowed from surf ninjas, and we're gonna take you out. Now, Josh, why don't you tell us about the intro of our next characters, Ryu and Ken?
All right. Again, keeping with the theme of everything is wrong, the so honorable Ryu and Ken are now interpreted as like fucking street hustlers, as they enter some weird, shady, like Asian fight club, and they're watching some weird underground fight between Vega and some guy.
Yeah, poor some guy.
Poor some
Starts
guy.
climbing up the cage.
Yeah.
Trying to get the fuck out of there.
I would be too. Like, it's like, this doesn't seem fair. This guy's got a mask and a claw. Well, I guess they gave him a machete, but he didn't seem very talented with it.
It didn't seem like it made a lot of sense to start climbing a cage that was sealed from the top with barbed wire.
He's, it's the 90s. He just got done watching some WWF, and he's like, if I climb out of here, I win, right? Like, that's the thing.
This is not the rules of the cage match by the fucking WWF style.
Yeah. Now, what I like about Ken is that he wears a shirt and tie, but with jeans. Did you guys pick up on that?
That's so American.
Well, he's casual, but also is prepared for business.
As you do when you sell Nerf guns,
Exactly.
Dude, holy shit. the whole... Oh my god. Well, this whole scene where they meet Sagat, and I guess they're trying to hustle him into buying some illegal firearms. But little do they know he has already acquired said firearms, and orders their execution. By the way, I think, does he say Poffle? Poffle?
I don't know.
The fuck? So he orders
I
it.
didn't hear that.
All right, Corey, feel free to find that audio clip if you can. I'm pretty sure it says
right.
Poffle. So he orders their execution, but it's like a bunch of fucking Nerf guns spray painted black.
I don't understand. Like, they think it's gonna fire bullets. Like, the hole is like too large. Like, of course it's gonna fire Nerf balls. Like,
It's like a 3-inch hole.
yeah.
Unless that gun is planning on firing grenades or something like that, like you should be like, red flag should be raised a little bit. You should cock an eyebrow or two.
For sure. And now Ken is played by Damian Chapa. You guys seen him in anything else ever?
Show of hands.
Josh?
Show of hands. No.
Not that I can recall.
Not a goddamn thing.
All right, I'll tell you what he's been in. A movie that I love deeply, that one day I'll get to. It's called Blood In, Blood Out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's Miklo.
It's Miklo.
Oh, no way, dude. I never even associated that.
That's a thing, I'm guessing.
Makes sense now.
So we got Miklo. Ryu is played by a guy named Brian Mann.
You knew you grew up in Southern California if you knew Blood In, Blood Out.
Right? Sorry, Josh.
Yeah,
it's a Southern California
It's
thing,
Yeah, I'm not cool enough.
So I want to set this up a little bit because it's something that's throughout the movie, and they cut back to it a lot. But I think we can just tell the story here. So Dalsham is also in the movie. They really cram these Street Fighter characters in here. Now Dalsham is but a shadow of his game character.
Well, that was a Capcom stipulation that they had to use every character from Street Fighter 2.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they check
they're
all the
all
boxes.
in there.
Yeah, I'm thinking about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So have fun juggling that, Steven.
I know. So they got Dalsham, and he is not a stretchy Indian man that shoots fire out of his mouth. No.
He's
Yeah, no, he was not 9 feet tall like in the game. I mean, he was
He's a scientist.
5'10" at max.
He's a regular guy.
He's scientist, man.
Regular guy.
Scientist man. I mean, what is Dalsham doing with Blanka? That's what I'm trying to set up here. Jonathan, why don't you tell us about the whole thing with Blanka?
Well, when he's what I took from it made the most sense when you get to the end and you hear the end quote from him, and he talks about being good, and you realize, okay, he was over there giving those the good memories. And did you notice that
It's fucking.
how controversial they were, though? I mean, he was feeding him Martin Luther King and things of civil rights movements.
He's literally
positive affirmations.
He's literally got a fucking evil bar. Oh my god.
So yeah, they're doing experiments on Blanka. They figure you hook up a headset, you show World War II footage, the man will become evil. But, I mean, there's also a little bit of a mutant injections and red wigs you got to put on him too. But
Well, if you watch enough documentary footage of Hitler, you can just what is the expression for monkeys? See monkey do.
exactly.
But
I mean, they were just planning on brainwashing him into the ideal soldier.
Yeah. Until like Dalsham's like, all right, I'm gonna slip in these good memories, like you said. He puts in like his wedding video, I think. Like,
Yeah.
like this was a good time.
I think there was like a picture of a puppy in there somewhere.
Sad levels go up.
But yeah, like there's like Martin Luther King. He's gonna like, what is he trying to like do? Like influence his like his voting bloc. Like he's gonna come out and like vote blue.
He's gonna come out and be a super voter.
So, all right, jokes aside, I've got a for real problem with how that whole situation is handled. First of all, again, keeping with the theme that everything in this movie is wrong, Blanka is not some weird fucking lab experiment. He's just he's some jungle guy that they find. Like the runners of the Street Fighter tournament in the game, Shadaloo, just find him in the jungle and throw him into the tournament. So, and then they also...
I love that. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, that's great, right? He's like the
I
wild...
always thought he was like found in the jungles of South America somewhere.
Yeah, I guess that is it, though.
Yeah,
right.
He's the wild card. Wild card, bitches!
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he can do a lot of stuff in the games. He's one of the, I think, easiest characters to play in the game because you just crouch down and you do electricity for a while.
well,
One move, that's all you need to do.
Electricity is explained that he actually was in an airplane crash and landed in South America.
Oh my god. Imagine putting that fucking thing in a plane. Being like, alright, sit down, have a drink. No, plane crash. No, it's not gonna crash, it's fine.
But they also fucking combine his story with Guile's story about looking for his friend Charlie Nash, which is also something they fuck up completely. Charlie Nash is a completely different character in the games.
Is he a playable character?
He is in the Alpha series, but not in the main series. What's notable about Nash as a character is he can do a double sonic boom, and that's allegedly where Guile learned his sonic boom.
He's like, he learned it, but he can only do one. He's like, alright, I haven't mastered the sonic boom, I can just do a single.
Yeah.
Where the fuck was the sonic boom in the movie?
Oh, I mean...
That got replaced for those spinning kicks.
Yeah, if you want to talk about game moves in the movie, it's a pathetic shadow of the game.
Oh my god.
I saw the one flying kick.
Which, like, is a straight-up Liu Kang move. I don't know what that's about. Like,
Yeah, that was exactly what that was. Total rip-off of Liu Kang.
Oh, did anybody notice the super embarrassing Shiruken that Ken does to Sagat later in the film?
Yes, it was sad. Now, that actor is clearly not a martial artist, because it was like, oh man.
Stand on your tiptoes and just turn around.
Yeah, it was pretty slow, man. It wasn't doing it for me, but... Let's talk a little bit about more what happens in the actual story.
Yeah.
So we get Ryu and Ken, they get busted by Sagat, and Sagat just sticks Ryu in the cage with Vega and is like, alright, this is going to be fun, let's see you guys fight. And it's set up pretty good because there's like a little bit of anticipation. Like Ryu gets a sword and like he takes off his shirt, he's pretty jacked, he can use the sword. It seems like this cage match is actually going to be pretty fucking sweet. What ends up happening with that match, Jonathan?
Well, he waves that piece of shit plastic with some aluminum foil wrapped around it, and Vega goes, "Oh shit, I need my claw." And then, no weapons.
Never once does that sword.
No weapons.
Never once does that sword look believable for a second.
The problem I have with it is that the fight doesn't happen. Like, Guile just, like, shows up in a fucking tank or whatever and is like, you're all under arrest. And instead of, like, scattering, the crowd just, like, alright. They just surrender. They just stick their hands up in the air.
Yeah, well, I mean, as you are a criminal, you know, anytime that you are placed under arrest, you just give up immediately. You know, despite you being an obvious, like, criminal organization, you don't want to stir up too much trouble.
You know what they say in crime, in the world of crime? Always immediately surrender. And then, right?
Yeah, good words to live by.
I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. So yeah, they all go to prison. Ryu and Ken, who are just like I don't know if you consider them necessarily criminals. They were selling fake guns to a criminal organization.
Oh.
Whatever. They're in there.
They probably had a legit business license.
Well, you know what? I just thought about it. They probably would have started firing back at Guile had they actually received real guns.
Maybe.
They got fucked over.
So in prison, we see Guile, and he kind of forms a plan because he knows that Sagat works for Bison.
After nonchalantly just beating the shit out of a guy during a briefing.
They got to show us how badass he is, okay?
It's like that's a typical Monday morning for you.
American military briefing at its finest.
And we see Cammy in there too during that briefing. We haven't talked about her a lot yet. She's in this.
I don't know how she wears that skirt and expects it to be functional for all the fighting and running that she does.
Well, you know, my big disappointment is that she didn't wear the game accurate outfit.
True.
Yeah.
I think we were all hoping for that.
Yeah, we were. Let's be honest. If you say you're not, you're lying, or you're a woman.
Jesus Christ.
I'm horrible.
Go right in.
Yeah, I'm horrible. I'm sorry. Blame me.
So, Jonathan, why don't you tell us about Guile's plan with Ryu and Ken? Like, what's he gonna do? Like, what? A few events unfold that lead up to what he's trying to accomplish.
Well, he's got this secret plan developed where he wants to get Ryu and Ken to sabotage Sagat and Vega's little crew and bring them down. So I really liked the part how when Ken and Ryu got into the back of the truck when they were in their shackles, and he conveniently came away with the keys for the handcuffs that just so happened to be the keys for all of their handcuffs so they could jump out.
Yeah, he's got that 100
And steal
sneak.
the truck because the truck was already running, you know.
And this is where, I mean, I thought he was going to last longer, but this is where Guile gets killed.
Man, it's such a big twist that nobody saw coming.
Nobody. I really liked that part where after he got shot and he's laying there, like the press is just standing there taking pictures of him. Like nobody's helping him. There's no medics there. They're on a military base. Why aren't the medics?
They immediately throw a fucking blanket over his dead corpse.
Yeah. It's so funny. Yeah, he's like shot in the stomach, supposedly. He falls down. Cammy calls for medics. They come up and they look at him like, he's dead. They just like toss a sheet on him. Like
I was waiting for somebody to yell out, "World Star!"
I've got like 2 Band-Aids. Is that gonna help?
Oh man, this whole death thing is weird because, right? He fakes out his death. They put his body somewhere and he's just laying there for like all day and night. Because Chun-Li breaks in later and sees him, and he just like then he gets up when someone breaks. So he's like there for like what 12, 16 hours.
He was covered up with a sheet. How did he even know that it was Chun-Li? I mean, she was all dressed up, you know, ninja-esque, all black, face mask.
He read the script, obviously. It's top of page 43. Chun-Li breaks in.
I don't know. From what I've been reading about Van Damme, I don't know if he did. You know, like, I think he was doing his blow right off the script pages.
He used the scripts to roll up.
He had a Carrie Fisher problem.
Now we're talking about Chun-Li a little bit. We got Chun-Li and her crew, who are all reporters. Very game accurate stuff here. So there's Chun-Li, there's Balrog, and there's E Honda, the Hawaiian sumo. Josh, where do you stand on these guys? What do you think? Pretty good? So
again, they're all wrong, but yeah, I like the performances. I guess we got a Hawaiian Honda, which doesn't make sense. That's Honda.
I thought he was a Japanese sumo wrestler.
Yeah, that's how he is in the game. Honda's a Japanese name, god damn it.
I mean, he was wearing the diaper in the game, not a Hawaiian shirt.
And Balrog is not a good guy. So that's a little weird. They made DJ a bad guy and made Balrog a good guy. But other than that, I like the performances. Balrog is played by one of the Johnsons from the original Die Hard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Johnson and Johnson.
A little side note about Balrog. So his character in the game is modeled after Mike Tyson.
Yes.
And the name M. Bison was supposed to be for that character, but they switched some names around before the game's release. So M. Bison became who we now know as M. Bison, Raul Julia in this movie, and Balrog was switched over to. I guess it was a little too close to have this like character that looked like Mike Tyson named M. Bison.
Named Mike Bison.
A little bit of a copyright infringement thing going on there.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some likeness issues that. Yeah.
As far as I know, that's still how it is in Japan, in the Japanese games. But yeah, no, it's never been that way for the American releases.
Hey, since we were talking about Chun-Li, can I ask a question, see if you guys have the answer for that? There was a scene where they were talking about her father. What's the backstory on that?
Oh, this is Josh territory. Go ahead.
Yeah, not much is kind of played out in the games, but the gist of it is that Bison killed Chun-Li's father. And they kind of stick to that, but other than that, yeah, no.
Yeah.
So she wants to avenge her father's death against M. Bison. That's what she has against him.
Yeah, that's her whole deal. Right?
Yeah,
And she's like trained her whole life for it in the movie.
Yeah, like in the movie, she's like, they say she's from some weird village, but in the game, she's just from China. And her dad is...
That is a weird village. What are you talking about?
It's a whole bunch of weird villages.
And her dad actually ties in with a couple of other characters from the game, which they completely ignore in this movie.
Oh, okay. Must have been later games, though, right? Because they used all the Street Fighter 2 characters here, I think.
Yeah, well, her dad is tied in with a character from the first game, but I think they retroactively did that. That wasn't necessarily the case when that character was introduced.
Okay. Now to get back a little bit to the plot, so we find out what M. Bison is trying to do, which I took 2 notes on because I wasn't sure like which route he was trying to go. It seemed like at first he was trying to build a mall, I think.
Bisonopolis shall be the wonder of my world. But I think the food court should be larger. All the big franchises will want in.
And then he said his real plan is to actually build a bunch of super soldiers with the purpose of world peace.
It's
right?
the greatest mall ever. I want to go to that mall.
Well, I mean, it looks from the top view kind of like a mall in the shape of a skull with like his M. Bison symbol.
Yeah.
And he's talking about putting in like a food court over here. He's like, I'm gonna put a food court here. There's gonna be like a Hot Topic over here.
He's like, trust me.
Don't forget the Claire's on the corner.
Yeah, he's gonna have a Claire's, like icing.
Taco Bell's gonna want to get in on this.
Yeah, he's like, I got investments going on with Panda Express and Yum Corporation.
Yeah, so, oh my god, are we about to get into his Oscar-level speech here?
Yeah, dude. Tell us about it, Josh.
Oh my god, so it's around this time when he's telling them, yo, we need a Chick-fil-A here, a Taco Bell here, that he receives word that Guile is killed on the news, and DJ goes to, congratulate him. However, Bison is actually pretty upset. He's pretty butthurt about it, as he wanted to snap Guile's spine personally.
That's great news, General. Congratulations.
On the contrary, I mourn.
Okay.
I was hoping to face Guile personally on the battlefield. One gentleman warrior to another, in respectful combat. Then I would snap his spine. Ah! The road not taken. But why? Why do they still call me a warlord? And mad? All I want to do is to create the perfect genetic soldier. Not for power, not for evil, but for good. Carlos Blanka will be the first of many. They shall march out of my laboratory and sweep away every adversary, every creed, every nation, until the very planet is in the loving grip of the Pax Bisonica. And then peace will reign in the world, and all humanity shall bow to me in humble gratitude.
Yeah, that's right. He wanted to like meet him in the field of battle, and like this like idealized version of like fighting him one-on-one,
Yeah,
maybe
it's
with
got
like
this
him.
romanticized version of some kind of fist fight. Can you imagine? Like, I imagine like Saddam Hussein is all like, "No, I want to fucking fight George W. Bush hand to hand."
Wow, you're right.
But yeah, so he gives this like, this whole spiel about how he's misheard and misinterpreted as this huge tyrant, and he's actually wanting to bring peace to the galaxy. Oh wait, no, that's Palpatine. That he actually wants to dominate the world, and people should be grateful.
Yeah, he kind of sees himself as this big hero, which is like, he's such like a classic like caricature villain, like especially from like this era. Like he's like very like grandiose in what he says.
Very mustache twirling villain.
Yeah, he's a fucking twirler, dude. Yeah, for sure.
Fucking mustache twirlers.
And then afterwards, Zangief has the same reaction that I had, where he's just in tears, and he tells him that's beautiful.
Zangief, by the way, who's in this movie as well as many others, he looks exactly like the fucking video game version, doesn't he?
Oh my
He's like
God.
one of the few they got right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely stay true to the character, like in his little cameo in Wreck-It Ralph.
Yes.
Seen a Wreck-It Ralph?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, dude.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, they have a meeting for evil characters from video games, and talking about that. It's like AA for evil characters. You know, that even though they're evil, they're not so bad.
Yeah, Bison's also there.
Yeah, that's true.
So it is like AA, yeah.
Yeah, they're sitting around in a circle in their chairs, and they have a creed that they follow.
Oh, God.
And you know, it's good
Nothing
times.
against AA, by the way. I love AA.
He expresses how easy it is for him to crush man's skull between his thighs like a sparrow's egg.
Yes. And you know what? That's a Snyder feels right there, isn't it?
Oh man, isn't it?
Snyder from Three Ninjas.
Yeah, for sure. The Zangief is totally played up for comedy in this movie. I guess if you're told or mandated that you have to do all of these characters, well, fuck, somebody's got to be played up for kicks.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Did you see his epic chest hair?
Oh my
Awesome.
god. It's like Austin Powers levels.
Where the movie takes us next is the Ryu and Ken characters, along with Vega and Sagat. They've escaped from prison, so they go to meet with Bison. Now, they have this weird, like, it's almost like a weapons of mass destruction bazaar sale kind of thing, where like people got like missiles on their trucks and they're like selling them, but inside this tent is where we see Bison, and he's kind of just there hanging out with the baddies, enjoying a show, and Chun-Li springs a trap on him. Jonathan, do you recall the specifics of this trap and like what ensues here?
No, not particularly. What stood out from this scene to me was one that in this like yard sale of all the nuclear
black
bombs and
market.
everything.
It's a literal black market.
Oh, totally. Everything in there was like in pristine condition, like choppers, nuclear warheads.
Right
they're all
off-
American.
Fresh off the
you
lot.
know? Yeah, exactly. and then quick product placement once you go into the scene during the magic show. Did you notice that at the top of the barrel was a quick, they held it upright so you could look at it, Capcom,
Oh, yeah.
and then they put the top on the barrel.
Yeah. Oh,
Obligatory marketing.
you clever bastards! I never noticed.
The thing about this scene that stuck with me my whole life is that Chun-Li springs a trap. She sends like a truck with explosives that's like barreling toward the tent, and she shows this to them on like a TV monitor, which really defeats the purpose because of course they run out in time. But all that aside, the joke where like they're seeing it on the TV and the truck coming toward the tent, and Zangief says, "Quick, change the channel." That joke has stuck with me my whole life. Like, when I think of this movie, I think of that line.
Bison's the god. All your weapons of death are going to be blown sky high.
Quick, change the channel.
That joke lands every fucking time I watch it. I've forced people to watch this movie, and despite how they feel about the movie, because that joke still lands.
I just want to envision those scenarios, Josh, where you're like Jigsaw, like I'm gonna force you to watch Street Fighter. It's time to play a game.
So you would like to watch a movie?
I'm gonna rewatch it by myself, where I'm not having to explain it to my son the whole time, like each scene by scene. You know, it kind of like you end up missing little things like that need to land. You know.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is that Chun-Li and her crew of Balrog and Honda, they end up getting kidnapped and taken back to Bison's secret location. What we see happen to them is, well, some of them, specifically Honda, is he starts getting tortured, right? Which is like, kind of makes sense. Like, you feel like that's what they do. They torture these fucking guys, but it is a kid's movie, and it is a 90s kids movie, so like, they're just whipping him, and he's like completely impervious to it. What was noteworthy for me was a joke I don't think I got as a kid. Do you guys remember the joke that's said around here?
The joke to me was that it was not the black guy getting whipped.
Oh my god.
Oh damn. That totally tops what I was gonna say. I was gonna
Spice.
say the joke is not the movie itself, but yeah, no.
Wow, brutal. So what he says, what Balrog says to Honda is, he says, "Hey, give me a hand over here."
Honda, give me a hand. We've only been in jail 2 hours. Maybe next month.
He's gonna jerk him off.
Oh!
That's what the joke is. Yeah.
Oh god, I have never.
I think there's a
caught
lot
that
of these
joke.
little hidden one-liners in there.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta closely pay attention.
Good on you, Korey. I don't think I ever would have caught that joke.
And we see Ryu and Ken, they get their proper costumes. We talked about their outfits a little bit.
Kind of takes away from their costume a little bit. It's like every fucking, every other Bison schlub has them.
You're not special anymore.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, you look like 30 other guys around here.
Alright, so Guile is planning a big assault. He's gonna come, he's gonna rescue these hostages. He's gonna rescue Ryu and Ken and all the other people that are captured.
He's gonna play his
This is the
favorite
briefing
next
scene,
game.
right? They're all lined up. They're outside their the military base, getting their briefing from Guile. He's hyping up the troops.
Right, because he has a special stealth boat that can get to this base, right? This like weirdly like polygonic prop boat that he's gonna use.
Oh my god, what the fuck is this thing?
This boat, as well as a lot of the props in this whole scene, are very bad. But you know what? They didn't have a huge budget. They had like $35 million to make this movie, and 8 of that went to Jean-Claude Van Damme. So,
Ooh,
I mean,
shit.
they gotta do what they gotta do.
And approximately 2 of that went to his cocaine problem.
It's all right. He had more movies in the line.
It's like, yeah, the sudden death thing's gonna really pan out.
So before we actually get to the boat, though, there was a liner in there that we have to talk about, where he says, "Colonel, have you lost your mind?" He says, "No, you've lost your balls."
Oh yes. So what happens around this part is this little like UN like Poindexter guy. I think he's the villain in Ace Ventura 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
This little like dipshit with like papers is like, "No, you can't. I don't want you to go assault Bison's lair. We're calling this whole thing off." And he's like, I don't know, Guile's basically like, get the fuck out of here, and like slaps him across the face and sends him packing, kind of metaphorically, you know? But we get a big speech from Guile.
Oh God, do we?
It's like,
Braveheart.
step aside, Braveheart.
Braveheart for like 20 troops.
Step aside, Independence Day. Like, this is like the movie speech of all movie speeches.
Oh,
and
God.
I just love it.
Troopers, I just received new orders. Our superiors say the war is canceled. We can all go home. Bison is getting paid off for his crimes. And our friends who have died here will have died for nothing. But we can all go home. Meanwhile, ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up. But we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch Bison's ass so hard that the next Bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home, and who wants to go with me?
Anyway, I love that shit.
So, backtracking like 2 seconds during the debriefing scene where they're explaining the fucking boat, did anybody catch the Oscar-worthy performance by the Japanese gentleman?
No.
So, I know I stated before that Capcom mandated that all the characters be used, and that was true, but they made one exception for the character Fei Long, because they were really trying to push this Japanese pop star as an international star, so they tried to put him in this American movie. He is the character Sawada.
And who is he one of the military guys?
Yes. He's not a character from the game, although they put him in the Street Fighter, the movie, the game.
Oh my god, that game.
Yeah. So, yeah, oh my god. So he was actually like, if I'm remembering correctly, he was kind of a big deal at the time in Japan. Like he was a pop star, but after this movie, it kind of killed his career.
Oh, that poor fucking guy, man.
Yeah. It's like, Kodo, the pilot would have to be out of his mind.
Good accent.
I'm so sorry.
God damn you, Josh. What I like about the boat scene, and there's not a lot I like about it, that's kind of like my least favorite part about the movie. I think it's too long. But I like how M. Bison is like trying to take down the boat as it's approaching his secret location. And one of the things he does is he presses like arcade cabinet buttons to detonate mines underwater.
It's an actual Street Fighter 2 arcade layout.
Wow.
Like, yeah, that's pretty funny. It's not like, it's funny, but it's not cool. Like, it's
not good.
It's not good.
It's funny.
It's just there. So there's one other thing about the boat scene that may or may not catch, but it's a common denominator in Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, Schwarzenegger movies, like anything of that era. There's this little scene where he puts the tape in the tape player, which is it plays a video of like his wife or something, and he has like this obligatory 3 seconds of like longing and thinking about his wife.
Yeah, and like a real Mr. Freeze moment.
Yeah, exactly. And they have to play the romantic music for 3 seconds while he sits back and thinks about them.
Some things that we're fighting for.
What were you saying, Josh?
Yeah, no, it's his favorite mixtape. Does everybody else in the boat have to listen to that too? Like, god damn it, this song sucks. Please change it. No, did anybody have, during the...
I say he was just sad he ran out of Coke at that time.
That's what he's more upset about. No,
Put the cameras on him. He's out of Coke.
During the landmine scene, did anybody have flashbacks of Batman Forever?
Oh yeah. In a lot of ways, I connect this movie with the Joel Schumacher Batman movies in my mind just because of how stupid they are.
Which is the parallels you want to be drawing to.
Yeah. This came first in its defense.
Yes. So I guess technically Joel Schumacher was ripping off Street Fighter. Somebody should have told Joel, don't rip off Street Fighter. That movie didn't do so well.
I felt like a lot of these explosions and the way things were falling apart and crumbling down were not that far off from the show Legends of the Hidden Temple. I mean, that was how low budget that this film was.
Oh man, they found a tarantula. Somebody had that on set.
That was like some local kid's pet.
Hey kid, you want to put your pet Terry in?
So there's a part that I like to talk about because of the visuals of it, and that is when M. Bison is trying to woo and or maybe sexually assault Chun-Li.
Or he's trying to hashtag me to her.
So I didn't see him try to force himself on her. We don't know that he was going to.
He goes full fucking Harvey Weinstein.
Look,
He did not pee on her. Or a tree, for that matter.
Look, we don't know how it was going to play out because it gets cut off early.
Oh,
But
gosh.
the set that he's in is fucking amazing.
Oh, man.
His little office is so cool. I don't know if you guys really let that sink in, but he has like a chandelier made out of bones. And he has like... Oh, go ahead.
I've got a piggy bank saved up to where I can replicate a room like that. It's so good.
He's got like a Napoleon Bonaparte-esque painting of him, like on the horse, and he's got like a sad clown painting of him, like in a John Wayne Gacy-esque fashion.
Yeah.
It's very cool. I really like his little lair, and he puts on his robes, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna
He changes his hat. He's got a hat for every situation.
Yeah, he's got a Asian hostage that I'm gonna do things to hat.
That's his Brian Lafette hat. Sunny reference.
Do you think he always had a hat on just because he didn't have any hair at the time? Maybe he was undergoing treatment.
Bell
I don't know. I
powder
think
baldness.
I think they would just put a wig or something.
That I don't know
Or
about.
maybe the character just always had a hat.
Every time I've seen him.
Yeah, no, in the games he's always rocking a hat.
Well, because he's always in his military-esque uniform in the games.
Yes.
I mean, he's not wearing his
in the games
Playboy Mansion robe in the games.
Yeah, you never see Bison lounging around in the games. Yeah, maybe this is what he wears.
Now, this is around the time we talked about it a little bit earlier, but Blanka, who's been being fed video.
Oh no, we got to go back. I'm so sorry. We got to go back.
Okay.
The scene he has with Chun-Li. We get one of the most pimpest lines ever in movie fucking history, in my opinion. To where she explains why she despises Bison so much about her. He killed her dad allegedly.
Oh, I know exactly.
Oh my god, yes. So
cold-blooded
motherfucker. So she explains this. It's like a 3 to 4 minute speech explaining her backstory, and his only caveat to it is, you know what? That might have been the most important day of your life, but for me, it was Tuesday. Oh god, man! It's so fucking good.
That is a very memorable part of that whole scene. You're right. And she does break out, and she basically kicks his ass until she gets gassed, along with Ryu and Ken.
I actually find that kind of interesting that she was, given that she had, the advantage of surprise, that she was actually getting the best of him, and it wasn't until the rest of her friends showed up and fucked up the situation that he was able to get one over.
Yeah.
Where were her fury kicks?
Where was a lot of things?
No. Those are saved on page 60. Just hold on.
All right, so we were talking about the way characters look in the movie versus the way they are in the game, and we talked about Blanka a little bit, but this is where Blanka gets released. He gets broken out of his cage, and we get to see him like full on. We kind of saw him through like the glass a little bit, but we get to see him full on. And
because Dalsum is getting beat up by Guy. That everybody's favorite fucking Street Fighter character.
Guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, he looks like Lou Ferrigno, right? I mean, he looks pretty fucking. He's not looking good, fucking Blanka. Do you think they should have cast someone that's maybe a little bit more jacked and like short, maybe like a little like Wolverine looking guy?
I thought he was gonna look a little more towards like the game. They just needed somebody more muscular. I mean, especially when they had that one scene where it said body mass increased 49%.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, man. It looks like he kind of lost a little weight.
Looks like you just painted the same actor green. I don't know. I'm not buying it.
I mean, look, he's more buff than me, but he's not Blanka buff, okay?
No.
No way. I mean, in Street Fighter 2 in the game, dude, Blanka is ripped. I mean, he's hunched over, and you can see the back muscles just rippling.
You can see his veins, man. But yeah, I mean, Blanka, a shadow of the game version.
You know what?
Of course.
I bet you it was one of those like coked out requests from Jean-Claude Van Damme that nobody could be more ripped than him.
Oh my god, that's probably true. Yeah, I mean, we know you guys hear about that Fast and Furious actor clause thing where they can't get too beat up. So it's probably a similar situation.
Yeah, I know a little bit about that. So apparently, like, the way that works in the Fast and Furious universe, for those that aren't in the know, an actor is only allowed to be hit as many times as the actor that he's fighting gets hit. So it doesn't seem like one is better. So if Jason Statham and The Rock are fighting, they get an equal number of punches and fall downs. Like, it's very weird.
Fuck?
Like, egos are going through the roof over
Yeah,
there.
no, they're like in the same fight scene. Vin Diesel throws The Rock through a wall, and then like 2 seconds later, The Rock throws Vin Diesel through a wall. And if
that's like one example. I think that's when it started, Fast 5.
Yeah, and if you notice, and like when it comes to like the bigger actors like Statham, The Rock, Vin Diesel, every fight ends in a stalemate.
Yeah. Except for, I'll tell you this. You know the thing about Street Fighter?
The street always wins.
Oh shit,
that's
dog.
a Fast 7 reference that no one probably got, but alright.
Fuck, I've only seen 7 once or twice. I need to rewatch it.
Well, you gotta watch it 500 times like me.
Oh yeah, I gotta take Tokyo Drift out at some point.
Oh, dude. That movie needs to be taken out in general.
Oh no,
I don't like it.
I like that one.
It's around this time that Guile breaks into Bison's secret location, and this is where he sees his old friend Blanka. Do you remember his reaction to seeing Blanka, Jonathan? Like, his immediate reaction is, I don't know, it was pretty funny to me.
Oh, holy shit, let me save you by blowing your fucking head off. What the fuck did they do to you, buddy? Let me fucking end your life.
Yeah, that about sums it up.
You look pretty fucked up, man.
Yeah, I mean, until like Dalshim came over there and was kind of like had to explain what was going on, you know. He was just gonna cap him, dude. Like, you're fucked, dude.
Dawson's like, what your solution to helping was to fucking kill. Well, I guess you're American military. All right, never mind.
You can't just shoot all your problems. Look, man.
No.
It was just
Jean-Claude Van Damme snorted them.
You can't just snort all of your problems.
It was very striking to me that his solution to this problem is just to put him down like Old Yeller. He's like, I'm gonna help you. And then he starts raising his gun to his head. He's like, I'm gonna help you, buddy. Like, come on, man.
This is the most humane thing I can think of. I mean, when you're...
As the only good memory Blanka has is Martin Luther King.
and Dawson's wedding. Yeah. It's like, you know...
He saw his life flash before his eyes. One fucking scene.
What's sad is, like, Blanka's about to die, and instead of his own life flashing, he sees, like, a fucking montage of other people's lives.
He's like the catering table of Dalsham's wedding.
The fucking Ellen DeGeneres show.
All right.
Oh god.
So this is pretty much where things start kicking off toward the end as far as the big third act, because Bison doesn't get his ransom, so he's gonna kill the hostages, but not before Guile flying kicks his way into the room. And this is kind of where the heroes are freed, so there's kind of a big gunfight here, and we get like our final showdowns between our various characters in the movie, some of which are better than others, I'll say.
Yeah, it's like some characters get in fights with other characters, but for the most part, everybody just fights generic soldiers. So it's tough shit if your favorite character's like fucking Balrog.
Or like Cammy or something.
Yeah, it sucks for you. But we got Honda versus Zangief, which I think is a good fight.
I don't.
Hey, did anybody notice that Cammy put on camo pants
Yeah.
before entering the secret lair?
Oh no, the most jarring thing is T-Hawk just randomly in the next scene has a fucking feather in his fucking bandana.
Put that shit away, bro.
It's like, oh yeah, that's right. He's technically Native American. We should probably put a feather in his shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Native Americans do, I think. I'm a director of a movie. Speaking of the Honda and Zangief fight, so the reason I don't like it is because it's more or less just like
Off
they
camera.
like grapple each other wrestling style, so like they just like lock arms and then they kind of like fall through walls and through holes. But there is one kind of funny part where they land on Bison's like mini mall miniature and they start like stomping it and there's Godzilla sounds playing.
Yeah, and the other the Japanese guys are like staring at it and they're like, oh my god.
Sawada's fucking Oscar performance.
You say this killed his career? Was that the guy?
Yeah, that's the guy.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Alright, so here's another showdown. Blanka versus random henchmen.
Oh god, yeah.
Blanka's
That's-
only fights are against randos.
That's super disappointing for me. Because Blanka is one of my favorites.
And no electric shock.
No electric shock. All he does is pick people up and throw them. It's really funny too, because I saw this with my dad in the theaters, and I specifically remember him asking me either during or after the movie if like that was Blanka's special move, like picking people up and throwing them. It's not.
No. In the game, didn't he like one of his moves was like biting people or
I was
something?
about to
like,
say,
wasn't
he doesn't even
Bite your fucking
bite
head
somebody. How
They
fucking
didn't
hard
even-
is it to fucking
Dude, they didn't
have-
even give him sharp teeth.
Oh my god.
Now
they-
there's the obvious big fight around this time as well, but I'm not going to get to that yet. I want to
Yeah.
talk about some of the other small ones.
Balrog and Chun-Li versus generic soldiers.
Wah, wah, no good.
Yeah, no good. No dice, kid.
So there's a part where Ryu fights Vega and Sagat.
I really enjoy this fight.
I think that's one of the better fights in the movie. It is very short, but it is probably one of the better ones. And Ken does show up to help Ryu, because Ryu's kind of getting his ass kicked against him.
Ryu, get out of there, man! It's a trap.
Vatos locos forever!
That's probably a reference.
That's the SoCal gangster in Korey over here.
Guando, homie! Alright, so, any notes on that fight other than the really bad, what is it called? What's it called? The spinning uppercut?
Oh no! Yeah, the Shuriken. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Shuriken. There's a really bad Hadouken, which is
Jonathan, did you
I
see
missed it. No, I missed it. I was so disappointed. I mean, one of my notes for this movie is where the fuck are the Hadoukens, man?
it's once, and it's like I went frame by frame, and it's not even like an energy that gets emitted out of his hands. It's like the whole screen goes white.
Yeah. So I think what happened is like the lights flashed in the building. And like,
So,
he just told his friends later he shot a fireball.
Somebody probably just hit the light switch as they were brushing up against the wall.
coincidental electric surge.
Yeah, it was not it, man. Not doing it, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Meanwhile, around all these fights, thousands of rounds of endless ammo going off.
Oh yeah, I mean that's like your classic 90s final act of a movie. Just people shooting each other behind a thing.
That's something just that doesn't work for me because first of all, the movie Street Fighter, it's based obviously on a fighting game, and they went this super realistic route where everybody's like using guns and the military's fighting like other generic military guys, and everybody's firing guns. But occasionally, no, we'll put down our guns and get into a quick fist fight. Like, what? No, you just fucking pick up that fucking gun. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I mean, they gotta work it in as best they can. I mean, Mortal Kombat did it the right way. They made it like, this is a fighting tournament.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Mortal Kombat
so no one's gonna
is
shoot each other.
Straight Enter the Dragon.
Yeah. I mean, it always has been.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, look at Liu Kang in the first game.
Oh,
I didn't see any destroy the car challenges either.
Oh man.
Oh, you're right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, remember how awesome it was to get E Honda and he would just do that hand move up and down and just destroy the car over and over and over again. You got all these bonus points.
Oh my god. Side note, have you guys ever watched the Pete Holmes skits where he's reprimanding a lot of the Street Fighter characters?
No.
There's a video on Bison where he's telling him that the car destruction bits just aren't in the budget this year. He's like, we spent too much money flying people around the world.
Yeah, no shit. They do a lot of flying.
He's like,
that fucking airplane fuel.
Can we get used cars? He's like, no, I need new cars.
Well, I think it's time to talk about it. Jonathan, you're probably the best suited one for this moment here. So Guile finally has his confrontation with Bison. Why don't you take us through what happens here, at least in the beginning portion of it?
Well, oh shit. I don't remember the beginning of the fight. I just remember the climax. That's the best part,
kick,
right?
He does that giant flying kick.
Oh yeah, he comes flying through the window, over the control station.
Fucking propels himself out of fucking nowhere.
I mean, it's like the like you said, it was the Liu Kang kick. Standing position to
It's
flying 30
rocket
feet
out of his ass.
I mean, but the way their fight essentially starts is the way I think it would actually happen if Jean-Claude Van Damme fought Raul Julia. Jean-Claude Van Damme is just basically kicking his ass.
Calm down, Jean. He's got cancer.
The man is dying. Leave him alone.
He's dying.
His cocaine-fueled rage. He can't let up.
Hitting him.
You can't even beat up a guy that chemo failed.
Oh god. We're all going to hell.
I won't speak ill of the dead, but Jonathan can.
Yeah. Going to hell anyways.
So what happens is that M. Bison basically gets taken out. He falls on a panel where he gets electricity goes through his body. And I guess his super life alert activates.
So he has a 3-stage life alert built into his suit. The first part of the suit actually inflates and then has some device in there that performs a mild stage of CPR. So immediately that fails. 2 seconds of CPR fails. Okay, go to stage 2, and then they electroshock. That doesn't work. All right, let's just throw a big shot of adrenaline straight to his heart. And apparently his suit has the ability to find his heart and inject this shot.
Nice.
And
God,
back to the fight we go.
The fucking pumping from his chest is so comical.
It's so bad.
It's so bad.
Now, when he becomes proper Bison from the game, I guess. I mean, whatever. He's this movie version, as close as we're gonna get.
Super grounded in reality, so he doesn't have any actual magic powers. All of his abilities are based on science.
Right, he's got what did they exactly call it? Electromagnetic. This is simply something magnetism. It levitates.
It's just some fucking science mumbo jumbo.
It's the thing.
I can fly now.
It.
This is the short version. I can fucking fly now.
Yeah.
It's the same shit I make my office float on.
Yeah, he does say that. He's like, see that? I'm doing that now. Okay. Now, what I fucking hate about this is he flies up into the air. He slowly comes down and just like flies by and punches Guile, right?
And that's
Okay,
the next 5
my
minutes of the
8-year-old
scene.
son, my 8-year-old son called this out in the movie. Okay, he watched it with me, and he's like, "Dad, why doesn't he just move to the side? He's so slow."
You think like maybe it would work once? Like,
Yeah,
he
maybe
hits you-
once. Like, you're so taken back by surprise that this guy is flying at me with his fist out, you know, that you get stuck. But 2, 3, 4 times?
No, he like
You gotta-
literally flies at him for like the next 5 minutes.
Yeah,
And from like 30 feet away. Like, you have time.
you can move. You're just choosing not to.
It's like an Austin Powers with the steamroller.
Yeah.
He's like, stop!
It's the same shit.
If you can dodge a bison, you can dodge a ball.
Now, he does eventually get taken out. I don't remember exactly how. He like grabs him and he like tosses him into his like.
No, he
his, like,
he does a. I don't know if you guys know this. Jean-Claude does the same exact fucking spinning kick in every fucking movie. This, Bloodsport, Kickboxer, Sudden Death, and that's
Yeah,
how that's
the jump spin reverse kick.
yeah.
Yeah, he does like 3 of them in a row, right?
I'm not sure if he does 3 or they just like repeat the shot. I don't know what's going on there.
Let us know in the comments. I'm pretty confused by that as well. But that, yeah, he knocks him into the Jumbotron.
Yeah, the Jumbotron where he like he gets like death by TV and he has like a one-liner. He says, "Bison, you're off the air."
Oh,
It's kind of like the Freddy line.
Yeah, but in between there, didn't they have the their epic little battle on the floating office?
I guess.
Oh,
I mean, epic.
yeah.
is
Where he and Bison kicks Guile off. He thought he was dead. He's looking for him, and Guile's hanging from the bottom of it.
starts bashing his head into like a bell or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's in the beginning part, but yeah, I mean, I guess the martial arts stuff in this movie isn't great, and especially Bison and Jean-Claude Van Damme there. I mean, Raul Julia, he couldn't quite pull off these moves, I don't think, which is why
No.
poor guy.
Let me know if you think. Do you think he could have if he had not been as sick as he was, or do you think it wasn't happening either way?
I don't know, man. He could work that sword in Adam's Family.
Yeah, I was about to say he's a hell of a fencer.
He danced his ass off in Adam's Family, so he's got some sort of physical ability.
Yeah, he can mamushka his way out of a situation.
Yeah, dance the dance of brotherly love.
Yeah. All right, so the secret location, the whole facility is gonna blow. Very classic action 90s movie. Everyone gets
Self-destruct.
out of there.
Yeah.
There's a self-destruct going on.
The classic
Zangief.
90s self-destruct button gets activated.
Zangief's character arc is now complete.
Oh my god, we forgot about Zangief's character arc. Nobody apparently told him he was a bad guy, or working for the bad guys. And not only that, he wasn't even getting fucking paid.
DJ, why are you out of uniform? The enemies of peace and freedom are at our walls.
Are you totally demented, man? Our boss is the enemy of freedom and peace. These people have come from all over the world to stop him. If you're smart, you'll save your own ass.
General Bison, he's a bad guy. If you know this, then why do you serve him?
Because he paid me a freaking fortune, you moron.
You got paid?
It's real humanitarian.
Right.
He was doing this for
You
free?
guys are getting paid? Oh, what was the name of M. Bison's little helper? The guy with the long braids?
Oh,
DJ?
DJ.
Yeah. So he steals the safe, right?
Yeah.
And he walks out, and when he's leaving, he has a one-liner. I should have stayed at Microsoft.
Oh, yeah. Fucking
Oh my God.
classic DJ.
DJ Microsoft is in the house.
Microsoft. Yeah, no, this Bison thing didn't turn out. I'm going back to fucking DJ scratching.
I mean, look, DJ and Sagat leave, and the money they got, it's all just Bison bucks anyway. And
Oh,
since the
God.
mall plan didn't pan out after all, they're not really worth anything.
Well, oh god, there's so many fucking subplots that are introduced in this movie that just go nowhere. At some point, I guess Sagat, or not Sagat, but Bison had plans to kidnap the fucking Queen of England.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like, I assume, presumably, that Bison money would have been worth a lot. But yeah.
And Dalsham, I guess they tried to, like, last minute, they're like, oh shit, this guy's supposed to be bald.
Oh god, yeah.
He's suddenly bald.
They shaved his head.
It's like literally.
Did he have time to, like, fix his
scene.
head, like, while this place is getting blown up?
Also,
Yeah, who the fuck has time for that?
Also, he's got like a neck thing, and it's not exactly a skull on it, but it looks very similar.
Right, in the game he wears a skull,
Yeah.
and it's got bones, like small finger bones or something going all the way around the necklace,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's
And I think he stays back with Blanka
Yes.
in the building and dies.
Right, because he talks about a man only being as good as whatever that quote is.
Whatever. Why did he shave his head if he's just gonna die? Like, why do you care what your hair is like when you die?
as a kid.
Maybe Blanka reverted back to his, like, you know,
Bill Bixby.
yeah, and like fucking ripped all his hair out or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, remember, I showed you my wedding. Oh yeah, all right, I'll stay with you then.
God, like as a kid, I always assumed that Dawson just lost his hair in like some weird freak fire that happened off camera.
Oh, okay. You know what? See, I wouldn't even put that together.
He was in the lab. You never know what could have happened.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of where it wraps up because Guile, who you think is in the building, does escape. And he says his one-liner, which I'm pretty sure is also said by Arnold in some other movie. He gets out of there. They're like, you did it. We beat him. And he's like, I need a vacation. And the day is kind of won. And it ends on a very stupid note where they all pose for the camera.
Their pose at the end is like their video game counterparts' victory pose.
Yeah. And it kind of like freeze frames on that, and it says Street Fighter, like,
Which
man.
fucking doesn't make sense for Guile because his victory pose is brushing that long, swoopy hair. So, like, Jean-Claude is, like, reaching for this hair that isn't there.
Right, because it's supposed to be like a foot off his head.
Yeah. Somebody should have told him.
He didn't even carry a comb in his pocket.
Oh my god, no. It's...
Fuck.
Did
Poser, man.
anybody catch the fucking Avengers end credit sequence?
No, I didn't stay that long.
Neither did anybody in the theater in 1994. So after the end credits, there's a bit where it's like the destruction of whatever the Bison's place was, and you hear the female voice of the computer systems rebooting, and you see Bison's fist come out of a pile of bricks, and he
my God.
he like literally starts scrolling through his like computer options and selects world domination.
What?
Oh god,
Oh my.
I can't pick it up.
I haven't seen this. I can only believe you're making this up. This is too insane for this movie, even.
Oh dude, Austin
What makes
Powers.
you think that he probably doesn't have a second adrenaline shot in his suit?
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
it saved
So
him
this is like
once.
a Super Mario Brothers sequel bait ending.
Yeah, no. And I honestly want to say this was years ago, back in the like mid 2000s. But I want to say I had read that they wanted to do a sequel, and were courting Dolph Lundgren to take over the role as Bison.
Like a 90s sequel or like that Legend of Chun-Li shit they did?
Like, no, it was going to be like in the mid 2000s, years later, after the fact.
Okay, because they did do another Street Fighter movie called The Legend of Chun-Li, which is supposed to be worse than this one even.
Oh, you
in
guys...
like 2009.
Have you guys
I
not
didn't know
seen
that was
it?
possible.
Have you guys not
No,
seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Oh shit. Oh. Have fun watching that.
No, I refuse.
I'd have more fun not watching it.
Yeah, no, you're not missing anything. Despite this movie getting like a lot of things wrong, believe it or not, the other one gets more things wrong. Like
Wow.
Bison is just an evil real estate agent.
No, he's an actual bison. Like he's like an animal like, grazing the plains.
Tatanka.
Tatanka. Yeah.
Bison.
Oh God, which reminds me, there's one of the, it's like I want to say it's the Street Fighter 2 anime. Ken has a line where he refers to him as Buffalo.
Wow.
Yeah, gotta love that 90s Japanese converted to American humor.
Speaking of Tatanka, do you know Sagat was in Dances with Wolves?
Yes, actually.
He was the main guy.
But what I really know him from is as the Sphinx in Mystery Men.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Also, he's in Heat. This guy's developed a pretty impressive career. He's in Deep Rising.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's in Deep
Chun-Li,
Rising with Kano. God damn, there's so many parallels.
Well, do you guys have any final thoughts on the movie before we go into ratings? Anything we missed that you wanted to talk about? Anything like that?
I would just say that if you're gonna watch it, make sure you pay attention to the one-liners because they're all the way through this whole movie, and they're so Van Damme-ish. You know, it's like he just says these one lines that will stick with you, and just watch out for them.
I'm gonna get on my boat and I'm going upriver and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch Bison's ass so hard that the next Bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now who wants to go home and who wants to go with me?
No, I still want to
You're
go
right.
home, dude. I don't
That did
wanna...
stick with me apparently.
Yeah, no. God damn, I can't stress enough how epic that speech is.
All right, well let's get into ratings. Josh, where are you at on Street Fighter?
All right, so if we're going a more serious approach, obviously I'm gonna give this probably like a 2, maybe 3 out of like 10. But if you approach this movie as a comedy, it's a solid 9 or 10.
What does that round out to?
Math wizards in the comments.
Sounds about like a solid 6.
Yeah, it's like about the middle, I guess.
Okay. Do you have any other thoughts for your final review here?
Please, people, approach it as a comedy. It's way more enjoyable. And yeah, at all cost, avoid the Legend of Chun-Li.
I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna give Street Fighter a 5 out of 10.
I was about to say, just roll a d10.
Just roll a fucking die. Look, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. It's watchable, and it's kind of entertaining to watch, but it's also pretty fucking bad. Like, it doesn't look good. It's not like accurate to the game, but it can't be. No video game movie really can be. It has some funny stuff in it, but like at the same time, it's like horrible. Like if you look at it and you see some of the props and some of the things that happen, it's just so stupid. And Raul Julia is in a whole nother movie. Like he is like he's in his own world here. Like
I couldn't agree more. Somebody tell him what movie he's in.
Jean-Claude Van Damme is in his own world of like cocaine and hookers that like it's just this weird like mesh of things that happen that we have this Street Fighter movie. I cannot understand how I liked this movie as a kid. I was very excited to see it. I'm pretty sure I came out of it happy. And I remember specifically buying Street Fighter the movie trading cards when I was a kid. And yeah. But anyway,
this fucking action figures.
This is a weird movie, but you know what? You might want to watch it. I don't know. Jonathan, where are you at?
I'm gonna go right down the middle too. I'm gonna say it's a 5 out of 10 because it's watchable. It totally is. And I had a good experience not having watched it in probably 15 years. I watched it with my 8-year-old today and it blew his mind that, wait a minute, these are the guys from the video game? Because he's got an old Super Nintendo in his room. And so he plays, Street Fighter.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, it was awesome to share that with him. So having that it makes it more watchable for me, for sure. Definitely not my favorite Van Damme film, but like I said, it's watchable.
All right, so I think we're all on the same page for the most part. I mean, it's kind of weird with this movie. It's not like Surf Ninjas, right, Josh? Where like it's like very fun and funny, and this one has like there are things that like bring it down, I think, and.
I think I'm gonna have to disagree with you. That I've got fond memories of this movie. I think at least to me, it's up there with a Surf Ninjas level of cheese that transcends quality.
Surf Ninjas is the peak of movies, and this falls somewhere in the middle, I think. The peak of film is Surf. I fucking love Surf Ninjas. Anyway.
If Street Fighter was on TV and there was only one other channel, I'd probably watch the other channel.
Okay, wow. I didn't see that. All right. I thought you were going the other way.
I only need to watch it once every 20 years, apparently.
I throw this on periodically when I'm drunk.
Now,
and
Josh.
Obviously, when I'm torturing people.
Josh, where can people find you? You have an awesome YouTube channel. Why don't you tell us about it and how people can see it?
You can find me at Review Incorporated or Review Inc. For short, INC, and that's DOOD. I do kind of nostalgia critic type reviews. I gotta find a better way to sell that because
yeah.
But I mean, yeah, that's what I do. So it's a dope channel, and everybody should go check it out.
Awesome. I totally agree. Josh's latest video on Black Christmas is really funny. Definitely watch it. Watch his other stuff. He's got a good Surf Ninjas video in there. It's awesome. I want to thank the listeners for listening. I know it's been a while since we put out an episode. We're trying to rework things here at Big Dumb Movie. Alan, who has been on the podcast a lot, he was recently found dead in Miami. And Steve was near the bodies, and he's on the run. So we don't know for sure if Steve is connected to the murder of Alan, but he's out there somewhere.
These Big Dumb Movie boys, they just live their life a quarter mile at a time.
Yeah. So, there's been crazy stuff going about. Jonathan, I want to thank you for joining us. I'm really happy to have you on here. It was a lot of fun. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was great. First time ever doing anything like this, and a good way to rekindle the friendship. It's been out of the picture for 20 years.
Yes, I haven't seen this man for a long time. It was a big day for a reunion, so to speak.
Do you feel the sparks in the comments? Let us know.
So if you want to write in, you can send us an email, bigdumbmovie@gmail.com. Stay tuned. I will be putting out more episodes. Just trying to work things out here. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Leave us a review on iTunes. And again, thank you for listening. We love you.